All right, what's going on, guys? Sorry about that. If you were logged into the old one, had a little bit of an issue. I accidentally clicked go live in both YouTube and in OBS Studio, and it seemed to cause a little bit of a glitch in the matrix or something. So now we're back. It looks like everything is good to go. It says I am streaming, so hopefully that is the case. Let me know if there's something that's not working. But anyway. All right, we are back in American Truck Simulator. Always happy to be in this game. Really, really excited. And we are going to just knock out a couple deliveries today. But the first one, we are going to go to St. Louis. And I haven't picked a load yet. So I'm going to go do that now. Let's see, where do we want to go? We can go to St. Louis here. What do we got going to St. Louis? So we got some containers. We got some empty pallets. Mini dump trucks are cool, except it's got to be 100 miles. Ah, that's a shame. Well, actually, wait a minute. I wonder if that would this count? Oh, 129 miles will do it. I think that's the part of the criteria. Well, either way, you know, we've been there before anyway. But yeah, we'll take one of these. Do this. This isn't the closest. But it's all good. This port is just looking fantastic. I love this yard here. Really, really cool. Really realistic. Yeah, we are back in our Kenworth W900. One of my favorite trucks in existence. This alongside the Peterbilt 389. Just anything that's, you know, kind of more classic. The classic long nose cabs. I love these trucks so much. Very customizable. Not to mention that they sound great when you put a nice engine in them. Okay, we got a little bit of a, I don't know if I should call it a surprise or what, later in the stream. But we're gonna do this one delivery first. There's a reason why we are heading to St. Louis, and that is all that I will say. Yeah, how you guys doing this fine evening? Beautiful Friday. A little bit chilly in Chicago, to be honest. But, yeah, sorry. I know I didn't get any new videos out this week, so I figured I'd jump in and at least do a little stream. Kind of relax. It's been a long week for me. I had a lot going on. I was out of town over the weekend and all that, so had some unexpected things come up, got in the way. Couldn't get any content out, so I just figured I'd jump in here and do one of these. Nice little relaxing into the week for me too. I've been really looking forward to getting back into this game. I haven't played it since the last stream, which was probably a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. So it's been a minute since I've gotten a chance to just relax and play some truck sim. I've been working on a new farm sim series. Oh, almost didn't see this red light here. Thank goodness for bobtailing. But yeah, I've got a new farm sim series in the works that will be out next Friday. I've got another video of the same Cities Skylines series that'll be out Tuesday. Just got to finish the editing for that one. Looking forward to getting that ready to go. May not be the most exciting Cities Skylines video of the series, but you know, kind of one that needed to happen. And the next one will be, I think, a little bit better, but still, you'll see why on Tuesday, why this one's important. But you know, go from there. Yeah, we're just heading down the road here to the Nielsen, I think it is, the Rhodes company, to pick up a Volvo steamroller on a drop deck or step, what do you call it? Yeah, drop deck, right? Like a drop deck lowboy trailer, which I don't think is oversized because we don't have our oversized placards or anything. But we're just gonna do it anyway. I don't think it's oversized. I think if it's under 80,000 pounds and fits on the trailer, then it's still technically okay. So we're just gonna pick it up. We don't have any flashing lights on this truck or anything. Kind of opted out of that. Usually I spec out like a separate heavy haul truck, you know, kind of run some of the special deliveries and stuff with that. This is not that truck, as you can tell. Why is this guy? Is that a cop behind me? Man, following pretty close there. Ridiculous. I hope you guys are doing well. Sorry about the random, the stream like started and ended. I accidentally clicked go live both on YouTube and in my OBS streaming software, which caused a little bit of a glitch. YouTube didn't know like what was going on, and then so it said you can't connect to the stream right now. Brake check them. Yes, sir. Oh, hey man, how's it going? Long time no chat. Yeah, that'd be a good insurance payout. That's for sure. As far as I know, any time that you rear end somebody, it's your fault. So they'd get some, definitely get some cash coming my way here. Not that I don't have enough of it in this game. $36.6 million. I'm surprised there's something about, it's funny in ATS, there's no way that, as far as I know, there's no like mod or even on like the dev controls or whatever, the dev console, there's no way to change the amount of money or like set the amount of money. And so if I want to do like I've always wanted to do like a role play series type thing in this game, but never, but didn't want to have all this money in the bank, and I didn't really want to play from the very start where you have to do like the quick jobs and stuff, you know. So there's, you know, ideally it'd be like something in Farm Sim where I would just set the money and kind of go from there, but I can't really seem to do that. So I think we'll have to get a little bit creative if I do something like that. I wanted to do a ATS series one of these days, but time seems to never be on my side, especially in the summer. Gig season is coming up. Band practice next week already, and then from there it's like every weekend or every other weekend I'll probably have something going on. Yeah, I'll tell you what, the one perk, the one thing that I got going for me time wise is my girlfriend's job. She usually pops in here once in a while, see one of these streams if she's not doing much at work, but she's at work right now, hence why I'm on a stream. She's a paramedic, so she works at a firehouse. So in the States, firefighters at full-time departments typically work 24 on, 48 off. So you work a day, you work every third day, and you live at the firehouse, you know, sleep there and, you know, cook there and all that. So she does that. You gotta use a cheat program. Yeah, there's a... I know there are a lot that like allow you to increase the amount of money, but I don't know of any that allow you to like set the amount of money. You know, I can't say like I want 50 grand. You know, it's like there are some where it's like you do one job and it'll give you like $1 million, which I guess isn't the worst thing if I did like one quick job, you know, and then it boosted my cash to a point where I could get like a truck and go from there. Cheat engine. Okay, I'll check that out. I'll check that out and see what's going on with that, and see if I can kind of make that work the way I want it to. Because I'd probably just start a new profile. Oh, this one you can't. Oh, sick. Okay, cool. Sick, bro. Oh god, I sound like an idiot. No, but that's cool. That's great. Thanks for that. I'm gonna check that out because that would be fantastic. We got a picture. I probably can't see it from here. One of those picture trophies is to my left. This load is a little bit away, a little bit further away than I thought, to be honest. How's the audio? I always, yeah, okay. Oh, you're saying it's like with anti-cheat and stuff? Yeah, okay. Yeah, WRC would not be happy with that. Interesting. Okay. Alright, good. Good. Yeah, it was funny, the first time I did an ATS stream, this is the third one that I've ever done. Nah, I don't really stream that much. Or at least I didn't used to, but yeah, this is funny because when I did my first ATS stream, I forgot to change my settings from like game recording to stream recording, or stream, streaming, whatever. And I completely forgot that my that I adjusted my recording volume, or my recording software, to actually lower the game volume, but I didn't do it for my streaming software. So all you heard was just my truck really, really loud. Couldn't hear my voice at all. Which I guess each their own. Some people probably don't want to hear me talk. I would rather listen to this beautiful Cummins N14 engine that we have in this truck. But I digress. I always have something to say. I'm gonna read that real quick. What the program does is it looks for the exact number you give it. Oh, I see. Okay, so it like goes into your game file. It's kind of like a search through your files to just find, like a text search to find whatever number I want to change. I see what you mean. Can I make this turn here? Yeah, I'm gonna go this way. It's not gonna let me. Is it gonna let me? Yeah, I see what you mean. Okay, that's cool. And I'm not sure if this is gonna let me turn left or if I'm gonna crash into an invisible wall right here, but we're gonna try it anyway. I feel like oh yeah, there's a shortcut here. Okay, cool. That's where that camera thing is. I'm probably going to need to do a little 3-point turn here because that lamp is looking awfully close. Ooh. Oh. There we go. Good thing there wasn't a signpost there. Alright, that is... Yeah, there's another cop going right by watching me just totally botch this turn, but it's fine. It's all good. Yeah, I never actually thought about going into like game files and doing it that way. That kind of makes sense. I should try to find where the file. I'm sure it's got to be just like an XML or something. I mean, Truck Simulator I feel like is a little bit more complicated. You know what? I can't even say that. I have no idea. I've never tried to do any like changing of anything in Truck Sim. Farm sim is, I know that's XML based, that's pretty straightforward. I'm gonna snag a screenshot or a picture of this real quick to get my photo trophy. Let me hop in here to the stop sign. Running slow through the town here. Yeah, let's grab one of these. I like these little photo trophies, to be honest with you. I think they're kind of cool. Yeah, there we go, City Hall. Get a nice shot, something like that. Beautiful. All right. Back to the delivery. Yeah, there were days when I remember when I was like in my old house and had first bought my Logitech G29 or G920 wheel, and I had my little Logitech shifter that I've since upgraded, and my pedals that I've since upgraded. I remember like first like really getting immersed into ATS, and then, you know, like having the shifter, and I thought it was so cool. I modded the crap out of this game. I mean, I had like all the traffic mods, you know, the different like the AI loads, the different loads that you can get. There's all kinds of stuff. And then that was when I had my old gaming PC too. So we're really going back. But then I kind of, you know, the game got better. They added more trucks, because that was when they only had 4 trucks in this game. They had the Peterbilt 389, the Peterbilt 579, the Kenworth, man, third gear is not my friend today. The Kenworth W900, and then the Kenworth T, what is it, 680? They only had those 4 for a while. And then they added, you know, Freightliner and Mac and International and all that. Western Star. But yeah, there was a long time where there were only 4 trucks in the game. And even before, I even got the game later on, and there was a point before that where there were only like 2 trucks in the game. I think they added, the original ones were the 579 and the T680. I don't think they even had like these classic long nose trucks in there yet, you know, on release day. But yeah, I loved like all the mods in this game, and then my computer was starting to get kind of maxed out, you know, and honestly, I'm glad that I kind of dodged a bullet, because I was downloading a lot of truck mods from, I guess what you would call those sketchy mod sites, you know, and I'm ashamed to say that I supported those sites for a time, and you know, because there weren't a lot of like, you know, yeah, exactly, it really was. And so I tried to kind of fill the void of like there not being any trucks. You know, I remember I found like a cool like old Freightliner FLD long nose truck, and it sounded so great. And one of my favorites that I found was a Kenworth. It was a T800, but it had a dump body on it, so you could get a dump. You could make it into a dump truck, and you couldn't actually haul like cargo like on the truck. Like if it was purely aesthetic if you put like gravel in the bed. But what you could do is it came with a pup trailer, so you could pull the pup trailer around and haul it that way. Or I found another mod that was like a real short 2-axle. I think it was called like a Eagle or something, or Trail Eagle or something. I can't remember the name of it. But it was essentially just like a pull behind. Not a gooseneck trailer, but just a pull-behind trailer. And, you know, you can haul like little excavators or little bobcats and stuff on there, little skid steer loaders and that. Or pipes or something, you know, like construction materials, right? So you can go pick that up with your dump truck, and then look like you were going through construction sites. And I played with that truck for a while. I really liked that. It was really cool. And then, yeah, you know, the game kept getting updated. The mods just didn't. And I stopped dealing with those sketchy sites. I hated like all the ad pop-ups, and you know, it's just then you see people are just ripping off of people's mods in the Steam Workshop, and it just really turned me off to those. I was like, nothing on here is worth the computer virus. You know, I can have just as much fun in the game with the base content and official Steam Workshop content, or the stuff on the SES forums. Like this engine mod that the engine that you're hearing right now is the Kreischbaum's engine pack, one of my favorite mods. I haven't checked in a while to see if it was updated. I haven't actually checked on those forums in a long time. But there was some great mods on there, like, you know, Harvin and Smarty, some of the good mod creators for ATS are all on there. Slow going, a lot of those mods, but really quality stuff. Really quality. Yeah, it's always funny, like these ATS streams are always a little bit more bare in terms of viewers than my Cities Skylines stuff or anything like that. I haven't done a farm sim one yet. I really want to do one soon, but I'm more so doing this for myself rather than the views. I just figure, you know, why not invite people to come along for the ride if they so choose. But yeah, I don't really care too much. I appreciate everyone that always comes to the streams, you know. But yeah, I got to do a farm sim stream soon. Once I do this, I'm gonna release this new series next Friday. Something that I haven't done yet. Something that's not, you know, not new to the community or anything like groundbreaking in terms of crazy content, but my own twist on a common challenge, I'll say. So I'm excited to actually get into that. And I've been recording the first 2 episodes are already recorded and almost done, and I'm just having so much fun with it. I always forget how much I love like one of these 3 games until I don't play it for a while, and then I come back and I'm like, man, I miss, you know, Cities Skylines, or I miss Farm Sim or Truck Sim, what, you know, you name it. And then I get really, really into it and record a new series. Yeah, I think yeah, I agree. ATS is one of those games where, like, I grew up just absolutely loving anything with a motor or an engine. I mean, you know, construction, machinery, fire trucks, garbage trucks, cars, you name it, lawnmowers. I always used to help my dad cut the grass when we were kids. I would always sit on we had one of those riding mowers, like a little John Deere, and I would always, you know, sit and steer it, and it was so much fun, you know. And it was just like, I don't know, my dad had a Harley Davidson motorcycle, and he still has it. Doesn't really run it much. Seems like every time he turns it on, he just goes, "Oh, the battery's dead," or "Oh, there's an oil leak," or something. So it's like, yeah, Dad, because he sits in the garage all the time. But my point is, I've always loved, you know, things that just drive. And so ATS was, for me, when I found the game, I remember I had the old, like, 18 Wheels of Steel, Pedal to the Metal or whatever games on my old family computer that was like it ran on like Windows Vista. And so then once I found this, I was so excited. I was like, no way there's a truck game now that's out, that's actually like still, you know, in development. And I got so excited, and so instantly I got it on my MacBook laptop. I remember I was in college and playing on a keyboard and mouse, doing this on a keyboard and mouse on my laptop in my college dorm room, and it was so much fun. And yeah, then I you know, upgraded to got my proper desktop PC, and got a wheel, and then upgraded my PC again to what I'm on now, and the rest is history. And so this game for me definitely comes and goes in waves. there are times like right now where I'm really, really into it. I think what's nice about this game is that there's always something new coming out. So anytime there's a new map, or a new state, or a new live event, it gives me a reason to play it. And then I play it for a few weeks, and I do the events like I'm doing now. You know, I've done 3 streams. I'll probably do 2 loads today, and then do like a fourth stream to do the last 2 loads, because we're 8 out of 12 complete. So I'll do 9 and 10 today, and then 11 and 12 we'll probably do one more like next week or something. But yeah, that's the thing is, you know, do a live event, do a few deliveries, and then I could kind of put the game on the shelf for a little bit and go back to, you know, purposefully playing Farm Sim or Cities Skylines to get some content recorded and all that. And then, you know, then there always comes a time where I'm like, man, I'm really feeling like playing ATS, and then a new state comes out, or a new you know, Halloween event or Christmas event happens, and I'm like, oh man, you know, perfect timing. I get in and I play, and it's awesome. So yeah, there's always a reason for me to, whenever there's a reason for me to play this game, I like to jump in and play it. And it never disappoints. It is so relaxing. I really enjoy that about this. And same thing with Farm Sim and Cities Skylines. Just relaxing games. I haven't played, you know, things like Call of Duty and stuff in a long time. I've talked about this on a couple streams before, but man, like, you know, looking back when I was a kid and I used to play Call of Duty and all that, and we would just, you know, it was fun when you were playing with like a full group of friends, but that was easy when we were in high school. You know, we were 15. Now trying to get 6 people online or 4 people online at the same time is impossible. You know, everybody, oh, I got, you know, one of my friends has a daughter, you know, his 2-year-old daughter, and everybody else, oh, you know, I got work, or oh, I got a, you know, date night, something. There's always something, you know, so tough. But I digress. Games like this for me, relaxing, kind of good way to de-stress. We're hauling it up this exit ramp, my bad. Didn't realize how fast I was going. Gotta pay attention. Hey, look at that, we're already almost at our destination for our first load. After this, we're gonna go head to the garage over here in St. Louis. I gotta find where it is, not the mechanic garage, but the garage that I bought, because I got something in there that's waiting for us here. And I'm sure y'all could guess what it is. But yeah, kind of the main reason why I've been so excited for this stream. I'll go ahead and roll up over here. Got our security check, good. Oh, we gotta go way in here. I love these. Ooh, am I gonna make this turn? No, I'm not. I'm not even paying attention to my trailer. There we go. We're gonna make it, no problem. No problem at all. Do I got a way coming in or just going out, it looks like? Yep. Okay. Well, I don't think we're getting a load here, so. If you guys are just joining the stream, welcome. We are just dropping off a Volvo steamroller in St. Louis, Missouri. Gonna do at least one more delivery. This one took pretty quick, actually. I needed to get to St. Louis. That's all that I got something in the garage here waiting for us that I needed to get over here for. So just a quick one straight up north, and then we'll go and get over to our garage and pick up another delivery going somewhere. Where do we got to go here? All right, we're going to go around there. Oh, we're at a rail yard. You know, there's actually, there's one of these kind of by my, I shouldn't say by my hometown. It's in a town by where I went to high school. Kind of by where my girlfriend grew up, actually. There's one of these rail car wheel fab shops over there. And I always used to see, coincidentally, there was always a couple trucks there, kenworth W900s. These owner-operators had these flatbed trailers with like special rails on them just to haul these train wheels. And I used to see those all the time driving to and from that little fab shop. Just a little warehouse out there in Chicago Heights, Illinois. Cool little spot. A lot of industry, a lot of old industry around there. They're not doing too bad. It said this is, I can't believe this is a 90 XP. This is supposed to be a challenging spot to park the trailer, which doesn't seem to be that bad as of now. I don't think. Unless I'm not seeing something here. We'll just kind of L park this a little bit here. Swing it around. And it's not straight, but it'll work. It'll play. It's fine. We're in an open yard here. They can move it if they want it. Alright. One delivery down. At least one more to go here. Let's see, is that going to count? No, it's not going to count because I don't even have the... I already been there. Alright, so let's go to... I got to find this on the map here real quick. Let's go to the map. Where am I going? I don't even tell me I got to go like all the way down here. Of course it's all the way over here. You know what we're going to do? Do this. Do a little quick travel. Oh, can I not do that? Wait. Oh, I know what to do. Gotta go do this. Garage Manager. St. Louis. Alright. We'll go travel here. $100. Big deal. I got 36 million. Look at that. We're here. Okay. So now... Alright, this is what it... So this is where it always confuses me. It's not super intuitive in this game when you gotta like transfer trucks and like yourself between garage. So if I go to manage garage, I need to do this. Like I want to drive this, so I need to... We got a Kenworth W900, the classic Legacy Edition, waiting for us here. 72-inch flat roof sleeper. I've been waiting so long for them to add a flat roof Kenworth W900 in the game. I cannot even tell you how long I've been waiting for that. So I'm really excited that they finally added it in as a even though it's a farewell to, you know, this really sad fact that the W900 is being discontinued. So they added the Legacy Edition into the game now, which is what we're about to jump into, and I'm really excited to drive this truck. Like, really excited. So I'll admit the interior, I think, could be a little bit more classic. I think that they just threw, like, some additional parts on it and just said, oh, it's the Legacy Edition. But I wish they would have made, like, more of an effort on the interior to make it really, like, reflect the old, like, 90s models, you know, with the different gauges. They didn't have, you know, the GPS screen on here. I wish they would have done a little bit more with that. But honestly, I mean, the outside looks good. Like, they had a lot of the cool parts, like the old bumper, that's flat top looks awesome. They had the old horns, the retro stacks and all that. Like, overall, it's a really good looking truck, and it definitely looks a little more classic, you know. But yeah, I do wish they did a little bit more with the interior. Oh yeah, so this is a change for me. So the last truck that we were just driving had a Cummins in it. This one's got a cat. We We opted for a 3408. 475 horse. You know, I'm imagining, although this says 0 miles on the odometer, I'm imagining this is an older truck that would, you know, have a little bit more of a little less powerful engine. Because those older trucks didn't have, you know, 600 horsepower or 550 horsepower engines. And to be honest, you don't really need them, especially for what we're doing. You don't really need all that horsepower. We're just hauling, like, unless we're doing like oversized stuff, we don't need it. But what I am going to do is adjust my stuff here. So we want, usually I go about 74. And then we'll try to do, I need to fix my mirrors too. Whoop, nope, don't want that. There we go. So let's go left. I want this guy to, I want to be able to see at least my wheels. Kind of like right there. It's a good spot. Because that way I'll be able to actually see the trailer. So there we go. Got that all adjusted for now. That was looking good. I think everything else should be fine. Steering wheels, that's all right. I don't really mess with that too much. All right, now let's find a first delivery here that we could do with this truck. So I guess I will have to end up doing 3 deliveries today because the last one didn't count. So can we go to Poplar Bluff? Nope, we can't. Can we go to Kirksville? Always trying to get my new cities. There we go. Nice. Oh, perfect. 228 miles. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Perfect. And it matches our colors. Synthetico's red and white. We got a red, white, and black truck. Man, this could not be more perfect. All right. Let's get on the road here. Oh, I forgot how good these cats sound with this engine mod. Totally forgot. Beautiful. I know the Jakes sound good on this too. I'm excited to get those up pretty soon. $18 speed, of course, in this truck. Gonna put some miles on this one, man. I'm telling you now, we're gonna be swapping between this and the other Kenworth pretty frequently, I'm sure. Not to mention the wood trim. Love some beautiful wood trim in a truck. Let's go hop in here. The old chemical plant. Turning like I got a trailer on. And don't even have a trailer. All right, where are we going here? There it is. We got to swing around. All loaded up. So I always love coming to places like this in the game because, fun fact, I used to do fun facts in all of my videos when I first started my channel. When I was posting SnowRunner videos. Man, that's a throwback. When I first posted my very first videos on this channel, I used to do a fun fact in every video. And in this one, I guess we'll go fun fact. My dad worked for 30 years at a oil refinery in Indiana, where I grew up. Huge place. I mean, like, huge is an understatement. It's the second biggest refinery in North America. So I've been told. I think the next biggest one is either in Texas or Canada. I don't remember. But nonetheless, what a cool place. And so, you know, you see plenty of stuff like this, like with these, you know, tank cars and everything. Man, look at that. It looks like we're meant to haul this trailer. This is perfect. That. The colors are just spot on. But yeah, we used to go, and I mean this, you know, this little tank farm here is like nothing compared to what we used to see. Oh, legacy horns too. Very cool. But yeah, we used to drive past her all the time. I used to have basketball games out there when I was in grade school by the refinery. There were some old, you know, workers' towns over there. Some real hardworking people. But anyway, super cool stuff. I always love seeing the plant. It's absolutely huge. Right on Lake Michigan. And yeah, they just, the size of some of the stuff there is crazy. How heavy are we here? 37,000? Chlorine gas? Is that what that says? Oof. Interesting. Well, gotta be careful with this one. Yeah, this truck sounds so good. We're already moving. We can make this turn here real quick. I gotta make sure I get my lights on here. There we go. Tell you what though, this only 475 horse, man. You feel it. Compared to the other truck I was just driving that had like 500 something. This one's definitely a little bit less. Sorry for jumping around on the camera here. I really should get like a eye tracking software or something. Alright, yeah, let's sit back. Relax. Get this on the expressway here pretty soon. Gonna make this light? I don't think so. No chance. No chance. We're over here by the old bottling plant. This is a really cool part of the map. You'll see when we make this turn here. I know I mentioned this in the, I think in the last stream, we crossed right through the same street. And I remember saying the same thing about it, that it's a really cool place to see. Now we're about to get the arrow here. Come on. Oh, we're not? Oh my gosh. Stoplights are my enemy. But it's fine. But also, apologies if you can hear my heater in the background. I live in an old building, Chicago, where we have some really old heat. What the? Alright, man. Yeah, we got that old radiator heat, so you can hear it when it kicks on in this room. It's always real loud. But it's also really cold, unseasonably cold for May 1st, I would say, or May 2nd. It's about 50 degrees out right now, which is a little bit chilly for this time of year. Usually it's a little warmer. But oh well. Just about to get on the expressway here. Always nice when we can put it in cruise, you know. So much easier. Really get the miles passing by here. Cranking through the gears here. And now I can hear my heat really hissing. Oh man. These old buildings, man, I'll tell you. They're nice though. They're real nice. I love all the old like architecture and stuff in the city. In some of these neighborhoods, like, you know, those, they got a lot of those old like 3-story walk-ups, and they're so pretty. It's sad how all like the new buildings and stuff that are getting built are so lame and plain and modern. Like, don't get me wrong, modern is good. Sometimes. There's a lack of like, I don't know, creativity in a lot of things nowadays, and it's sad. Same thing with the Kenworth W900. But whatever. Just why Kenworth is getting rid of it. Speed limit here is only 55. Be careful. And even this little hill, we're feeling the effect of that 475 horse instead of the I think our other one had 550. We'll get used to it. No use going fast. Doesn't matter. We're not in a hurry. Yeah, I really do wish we could get like a true like 90s W900 in the base game. That would have been really cool if they would have added like a older style dash and stuff. Like I said, you know, like the display and stuff kind of is like, eh. I will say, I love one of the mods that I really like. One of the truck mods that I really like is the Mac, the R model Mac by Harvin, and there's a couple other people in there. that truck is so cool. And I love how they were authentic in the sense that, like, they said, oh, I need to get over. You let me over, sir? Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. So kind of the AI drivers there. Let me merge. But yeah, I love the old R model Mac, and it was cool. They made it to where, like, the engines were very authentic to the time period, reflective of the time period. So, like, there's a lot of, like, low-powered engines with that truck, and they don't throw in, like, all, like, the 500 horsepower, like, chip-tuned stuff, you know. They don't have any of that with that truck. They only have, like, the old ones, you know, that are, like, 300 horse, 280 horse. Really, really cool, if you ask me. But also, like, not the greatest, given, like, the loads in the game are really heavy. But if you get, like, an old trailer with it, you know, that might have a little bit less weight. It really is a cool change. But they do have some modern engines with that truck. I think they have some of the more modern Mac ones. So you could throw one of those on there and, you know, still have, like, 400. Like right now, like I said, this one's got 475. If you have a 450, 475 horsepower engine, or like an old Detroit diesel, it's, you know, it's still, like, old school, but can pull some modern weight, you know, like some grain trailers or something. You can see where I'm going with this. One of the motivations behind maybe doing a little series in this game. Kind of mixing some games here, but, you know. But yeah, it's pretty cool. All right, now we can cruise here, 65 miles an hour speed limit. I'm liking it. I should think about pretty soon here trying to find a place to pull off. Oh wait, ooh, shoot. No. Give me that, I want to get up to 55, or get up to 65. But yeah, one thing that I'm thinking about soon is a new wheel upgrade. So like I said before, I got a Logitech G920. And again, apologies for my heat. You can really hear that now. I'm sorry about that. This old steam radiator heat, man, just cranking away. But anyway, yeah, I got a Logitech G920 now, and I'm looking at Moza. I'm kind of liking some of their stuff, and I like the price point that it's at. So I'm not trying to spend, you know, I do want to upgrade to direct drive, but I don't want to spend an insane amount of money. You know, you can spend like over $1,000 for a wheelbase and a wheel or something, or $1,000 just for the base. You know, if you're looking at like Fanatec and stuff. But I'm looking at maybe like the R12 by Moza. You know, you get 12 Newton meters of force feedback, and then I can pair a nice wheel with it for about 700, I think. So that'd be a good option, I think, if I was looking to go that route. And then they also have, what's cool about Moza is that they have the ability to, you could swap wheels really easily. It's just kind of snap on, snap off type stuff if you get like an adapter for it. Which the adapter is a little pricey. It's like, you know, they try to, like any company does nowadays, to try to kind of price gouge you for little things. But I don't know, I guess it is what it is, you know. I will say that Moza seems to have some cool, innovative things on the market. Like they do have that quick release adapter to swap out your wheels, you know, quickly, which I think they were kind of one of the first ones to have that. It might have been Fanatec, but still, really cool feature. They were the first to come up with a good truck wheel. I think they really pioneered, you know, kind of captured the, or what do I always say, the first mover advantage in that market for truck wheels. That, you know, I know there were some companies that had, or maybe one or two that had like a really like kind of cheaper one, like a cheaper made one, which is great, you know, if you're at an entry level price point. But for somebody who was like really into truck sims and stuff and looking for something a bit more refined and a bit more durable, there really wasn't much in that price bracket, unless you had to get something like custom or whatever. So to be able to get through Moza like a proper, you know, bigger truck wheel, it's really cool. Really cool then. Excuse me. Now that I did not know. I did not know that they were Chinese. I don't know what I thought they were, but I don't know. Yeah, and to be fair, the pedals that I have are Chinese, and so far so good. Hard to beat price, especially competitively with anything else at this. Their load cell. I got the simsonn, SIMSONN, simsonn Pro pedals, and these things they were like $350, and they have they're load cell pedals, you know, and the next ones are $700 plus, and so for me it was kind of a no-brainer. But you know, I thought I'd get into it, and if I like them, then maybe I would invest in, you know, something else in the future. And I thought about going with the fanatec ones, but this was, I think, before Moza came out with theirs, if I remember correctly. And same with Thrust. I know Thrustmaster had some, fanatec had some, Moza might have had some, but they were all more expensive than these. And people were saying, like, you know, for the price, you really can't beat the customizability of these pedals. And to be honest, I haven't really like tinkered with them too much. I just kind of use them out of the box. And just adjusted like the spring tension. Well, you say that, you know, as a joke, but like honestly, I know they make a big difference, but in my opinion, it was a huge upgrade for me to go from the Logitech the Logitech pedals to these, because they're heavy. I can't see the red light, so I'm gonna jump to the exterior camera. But, you know, you can't... It was a big jump to go from, like, these plastic pedals to go to ones where, when I first got them, I actually drove with, like, shoes on. I'm just in my socks now, but, you know, they are heavy. They feel good, you know what I mean? And it really is a big difference, and it's like, it gives you, I feel like, a lot more control of your throttle, especially when you're, like, doing racing and stuff. And the clutch, the way the clutch feels, it almost feels like it has a bite point. Obviously there's no, like, you know, force feedback or anything but it really makes a difference. That's what I'm saying. Yep, I agree. And so I think that's why I like these, is because they were $300. So going from, you know, the stock Logitech pedals that were plastic and they had the pentometers as opposed to, you know, load cell. This guy is really coming up quick, man. Jeez. But the step from those Logitech ones to these, it's night and day. But from here, I'm not really concerned with going any higher, because I just don't think it's going to be that much better. You know, that jump from these is not going to be anything crazy. Like, these are metal, they're load cell. They have different, like, springs that came with it and all this and that, and stuff with the brakes, like the brake stoppers that you could swap out if you want, you know, different levels of resistance. And I'm not so concerned with it, but yeah, my clutch too, it actually has you get you push it in and then it goes, you know, you feel it like jump forward. which, given that I drive a manual car as my daily, that for me was a really cool addition. Just to, and I know again you can't feel like the weight of the, you know, the transmission actually grabbing or the gear like grabbing, right? But it's, for what it's worth, it's a sim, you know, it's a sim rig. Like I'm just trying to sit here and have fun, and that for me was just a really big upgrade. And so I'm glad that I bought these. It really made me want to do like racing and driving games a lot more. And yeah, I love these pedals. And so far they're holding out just fine. I've had no issues with them. And then, you know, my shifter, I got the Fanatec shifter, which again I'm very happy with. The only issue that I've had is like missed shifts, but then all that I do is open it up, kind of clean the just spray some electronic cleaner on the connectors, and honestly just unplugging them. There's like 2 cables that are inside here that plug in, and just unplugging and replugging those fixes it every time, and it's good for like months, you know. And for me to spend 5 minutes taking the top off and like just unplugging it and plugging it in, like that's fine with me, right? You know, I'm not, there are some people that are like, oh, you could do all this, you know, get this one shifter that's, you know, $500, but then you have like these problems with it. I'm like, man, I don't know. This one was, I think it was like $250, which again was like quite a bit of money, but the upgrade from the Logitech to this was, again, just night and day. And especially, again, as somebody who drives a manual, it's not the best. I know there's no force feedback in this one or anything like that. Like the new Moza just came out with a force feedback shifter, which I'm really curious about how that's gonna work. But because that's been something for forever. People have been trying to mimic the feeling of actually shifting an H pattern shifter, and nobody's been able to do it well. So with this one, at least you get a little bit of resistance, and you could set the level of resistance, and you get a nice like click when it goes into gear versus like the old Logitech one that's very plasticky and just kind of feels like a toy, and you don't get any kind of indication that you're shifting gears really. Oh, got some rain coming up here. Old school wipers, that's cool. But Exactly. I think I did, I grounded my pedals. I did that. And I mean, to be honest, like it's really not bad at all. But yeah, this one's cool too because it has a sequential mode. And the big buy point for me, but like this one versus like the Thrustmaster at the time, was that this one, the Fanatec one, had the ability, like the H pattern to sequential was a flip of a switch. Like literally, you flip a switch on the side and it goes between the two. Versus the Thrustmaster, you had to like put a plate on like the top and do something else. This one, it's so easy and it just locks it in place, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Makes rallying so much easier. You know, just pop it in there in sequential mode. Really smart. And then just swap out the shift knob too. Like right now I got this 3D printed, I got it off of Etsy, some guy from Canada. My truck shifter. Yeah, I looked at the Moza one today because I was just browsing their website, which is why I'm actually talking about a lot of this. I was, you know, kind of up to date on everything. But yeah, the Moza one's like, the new one's like $500 or $600, like $550. And I'm like, man, I can't spend it on a shifter. No way, no way. Because I feel like the jump is not going to be like this. I don't have a handbrake yet. That is one thing that I do not have, and I should get it. Because I feel like that might make a bit of a difference in my rally game. I say that, and it's probably not true at all. But not having a handbrake and trying to do like rally, I don't know. I feel like I'm missing something. You know, I really am missing something there. So I should really get one of those. I know you can get pretty pricey on those, and I know there are a lot of them that could, like, you flip the switch and it's a sequential shifter. But for me, like, I don't really care about that because I have a sequential shifter, so I don't need to do the one or the other, you know. Or I guess I don't need both. I'll just do one or the other. But yeah, I don't know. I'll see what I decide to do. I said I was gonna get myself a new wheel last year, and I mean I was leaning very heavily towards Fanatec, but it was right before they filed for bankruptcy, and Corsair acquired them. So I was a little bit hesitant to buy right at that moment because, you know, I was worried that the future of that stuff is uncertain. You know, I work in finance, but specifically in like financial litigation. So I see a lot of times where like companies are restructuring, and then the new buyer, you know, will cut product lines and cut this and cut production and that and this and that. And so like trying to buy something from a company when they're in the midst of like an administrative restructuring just didn't, it was scary for me. Because, you know, sometimes that's how like orders don't get filled, you know. So I was worried about that happening, and I didn't buy anything at that moment. So we'll see. But yeah, the Moza handbrake. Yeah, I gotta look at those. I wouldn't be opposed to getting either one. I'm sure like they're pretty similar on price if I had to guess. And I don't know. It's like I could argue either way. It's like, oh, if I get the Moza one, then if I get my Moza wheel, then it matches. But right now I have, you know, Fanatec shifter, Logitech wheel, simsonn pedals, no handbrake. So if I get a Fanatec handbrake, it'll match my shifter. I mean, it doesn't matter. Not really. And the cool thing about, I don't know, I'm looking at the reviews for like, I was looking at the reviews for the Mozas, and I saw a lot of pretty decent, overall like good, more good than bad for sure. And so I think that it would be worth it, especially at that price point. I just like, I don't know, because Fanatec was drawing me in because they were kind of like the pioneers to like the whole direct drive. But I think the draw for me for Moza was like, one, the price point, two, the truck wheel I could get as an add-on, and they have a lot of cool little nifty stuff. You know, like they have a column for like your turn signals and stuff that you could get, you know, and I just haven't seen any other companies that are putting stuff out like that now, and I know that they will, so I could just give it time, which is fine. But, you know, it's cool to see like little things like that. Yeah, that's true, because that's what I have for my shifter. Yep, I have that little USB connector. You're right. Oh man, I'm gonna have to do a blindside. Oh yeah. Oh no. Can I loop this around? Probably not. Ah, oh, dang it. Well, looks like we're doing a blindside back here. Oh, this is gonna be tough too. Oh, you know what? Oh no, we're gonna be smart about this here. We're gonna loop around. Got some room. Yeah, I bet I could just do something like, we're gonna go all the way around here and just loop around in this lot. Probably right here. I bet I can swing this right here. See, am I ambitious? The truck's pretty long. Oh yeah, not a chance. Man, that's a good joke. I really thought that I was gonna be able to make this turn. That's hilarious. Wow. Okay. Do a little jackknife action here. Oh, this is a bad decision. Bad decision that I'm doing. I'm realizing now that I'm not gonna be able to do what I thought I was gonna do. If that pylon's gonna be right there. Ah, I don't want to hit it. One more. Come on, just give me a little bit. Oh, okay. That's enough. That is a jackknife trailer. I should have went just to that gas station. But of course I'm not that smart. Alright, now we can properly back this thing up here once we get around this corner. "100%. 100% would have made that. Could have hairpinned it. Absolutely. Handbrakes for ATS, essential, as far as I'm concerned. Alright, let's see. Test out the skills here. We're gonna stay in the cab view. See if I can't back this trailer. I promise I'm not a fraud. I can back a trailer in real life. I promise. It's just my computer monitor is slightly smaller than my typical range of vision. I've backed many trailers in my day. And I think we might have it here. Just gotta be careful on my right side too. This is like a toggle. That's perfect. I love it. I've actually got I use the button on my wheel because I have the farm stick, so I think I just use like my X button. I got the the Xbox version of the wheel, so I use my X button on my steering wheel to change view. Okay, why we are backing a tanker into a loading door, I'm not quite sure. But I guess that's fine. Oh, that's why. That's not what I wanted. T. Oh my gosh. Goofiness is happening. All right, I want to do one more delivery. I'm having a lot of fun here. I want to do one more. I haven't played this game all week, or since the last stream, and I've been dying to play it. Can I go to Maryville? I want to go to Maryville. Please be load. Oh yes, yes, yes. The only one. $1,000. That's it. Come on, man. Whatever. We're taking it. All right. You know what? I gotta plug in my keyboard here for a second. I got a wireless one, and it is just about out of battery here. And my lights went away. My fancy lights. G915. I always get confused because my keyboard is a Logitech G915, and my mouse is like a G502, and I always forget which one is which every time. Yeah, we're doing some late night trucking here. I haven't really driven at night too much in this game lately. Usually when there's a new state, I like to stick to the daytime, so I can actually see everything. But here, do a little night cruising. Yeah, I think, to be honest, after this, I either A, I'm gonna download Dirt Rally 2, B, I'm gonna play I'm gonna record my 3rd episode of Farm Sim from a new series. Because I have just been, I've been in the new series that I'm doing. I love the map. I forgot how much I love the map. It's an old FS22 map, and I forgot how much I loved it. And at FS25, it is great. And it just, a good map for me makes the game. And I'm so excited, like, I just keep wanting to come back and play it. And I don't even mind, like, some of the stuff And plus, like, I'm getting really familiar now with how to use like auto drive and horseplay together. Well, not so much together, but like use auto drive for more than just going to point A to point B. Like I just actually dedicated the time to learning how to unload a combine with auto drive while the combine is running horseplay. And that right there, with the stuff that I've been doing, like saves. That's game changing for me. I mean, like, you know, I'm well familiar with like auto drive and like very familiar with like horseplay, but to kind of use those independently, where you could just like have the tractor running on auto drive and just goes to the combine and then goes to an unload point. Genius stuff. Genius stuff is happening. and I had never used that, never done that before. And it's really gonna make it's gonna be good in my new series because I'm gonna rely a lot on like AI workers. So horseplay and auto drive together, doing stuff behind the scenes is gonna be really, really cool. And it'll help me achieve the goal that I want to achieve. Because the challenge that I've set for myself is not easy. And it's not anything that I'd ever done before in Farm Sim. So I'm really excited to do it. That in conjunction with a bit of a, I always like to throw a bit of role playing on my series. Even in if I were to do a truck sim series, like it'd be kind of, you know, there'd be a little bit of a story. I know some people just prefer to just jump in and play games, but I always like to throw a little bit of storyline in my series. Even in Cities Skylines, there's kind of a storyline to building a city. I mean, building a city in itself is almost like a storyline, but you know, just kind of seeing how the history of it plays out and everything. But I think it's cool to kind of tie stuff in there. Sounds in this game, absolutely fantastic, by the way. When they added this new F-mod sound system in here, the echoes and stuff that you get, really nice. All right, just pulling out of the Home Depot, or the home store, I guess, with some moving pods here. Heading to Maryville, Missouri. Not apparently those are Marysville, Kansas, with the S in there. That is not where we're going. We're just going to Missouri. It is pretty close. 155 miles. And these things weigh practically nothing, so we are going to be cruising. We only got 475 horse under the hood. But no worries. Can't help myself, I just turn my speaker up a little bit so I can hear this cat. Thanks for sticking around for the stream, by the way. I always know with these, a lot of people kind of float in and out. Because I get it, you know, kind of just driving. We're here just for chatting and relaxing rather than actually getting stuff like done. You know, it's not like Farm Sim or Cities Skylines where you're actually like working like towards, you know, a goal. I mean, unless you're doing like some kind of roleplay series in this game, which right now we're not. So, just hanging out on Friday night. Dark roads, man. dark roads. It's like reminds me of driving when I used to drive to and from college. The whole interstate, like all the way down there, very, very dark. And I come home at night like a ton. I always liked driving at night because there was less traffic. And then it just saves you time from having to get up in the morning and like spend half your day driving, because I live 3 hours away from my parents' house. But there were many times where I'd leave at like, you know, 9, 10 at night. And just drive through. And then it was nice too, because my where I went to college and then where my parents lived were in 2 different time zones. So I gained an hour when I would come back home late. They were an hour, my college was an hour ahead. Appreciate that guy stopping a little short there. I think my mic is picking up my game audio a little bit, but hopefully it's not too bad. Sorry, I'd like to have my speakers up a little bit loud. I'm not using any headphones right now. Sometimes I do, but I don't feel like wearing headphones for 2 hours. I'm kind of an audiophile when it comes to my content, because being a drummer, like I'm a drummer first and foremost, but I'm also been getting more into like, I got some recording software and stuff, and so when we have band practices now, you know, I'll record our practice and just kind of have fun, like trying to mix with it and play with it a little bit. And so I'm starting to get a little more in tune with balancing audio. And then actually when we play shows, I also do if we're not playing for a venue, like a bigger venue where there's a sound man, I always bring my own mixer and I'll run the sound as I play. So having that stuff translates really well to doing like videos and streams, because you know you learn things like how to EQ stuff, and well, actually a lot of stuff doesn't need EQing is what I found out. But just, you know, balancing volumes and stuff like that, and you know, kind of setting things up that way, and keeping your gains high with your, and then messing with the volume, you know, it's important, like little things like that, just learning how to establish, just getting good strong signals from all your audio. It's important, and I think it's a thing that a lot of content creators actually don't take the time to do. And so it's one thing that I pride myself on, is that, except for my first ATS stream, which was horrible, there's one thing that I pride myself on is my audio quality. And I know I can't help my heat sometimes when I'm recording in cold weather and my heat pops on and it's loud, and I can't really turn it off. Even when I shut off when I close the valve, it still comes through and it's still loud. But other than that, I feel like I always try to get a good strong vocal signal and not to be overpowered by the game audio. So hopefully that is reflected in this stream and my others. there's a little camera coming up here. Should I go stop and take a look? Little, probably a nature attraction, I would assume. I think I might hear if it's nothing too off the beaten path. Yeah, why not? We'll pop in here and look at this viewpoint real quick. I've got some hay bales, yep. Farm Sim is calling my name after this, I'll tell you that right now. Driving through rural America really making me want to jump in there. But alright, where are we at here? What do we got this? To what do I owe the pleasure of this viewpoint here? Highland Farms. Ah. So, yep. Farm Sim is calling our name, guys. I know what I'm doing tonight. But yeah, welcome to the stream if you're just joining. We're out here on our third delivery for the evening. Gonna be our last one, but we still got a couple of you know, probably over 100 miles to go here. Yeah, got me a nice glass of red wine. Friday night, just hanging out, doing some trucking in the new state of Missouri. Having a great time. And the new light map, or the cube map for this game looks fantastic. Like all the night lighting and stuff. I love the starry skies and all that. I'll tell you what, that's one thing that I enjoyed so much when I took a road trip out west a couple years ago. More than a couple years ago, quite a few years ago now, actually. My girlfriend and I took a road trip all the way from our home state, or current home state of Illinois. And we went all the way out to LA and back in my Subaru WRX. And we did some camping along the way, we did some hotels along the way. But man, that was a fun trip. I think it was like 4,000 miles round trip. About 4,400 miles. And that was one thing that I really took for granted, is the night sky. Because growing up by close to Chicago and living in a lot of suburbs, you know, living in the suburbs, like, and living in Chicago now, you just don't see stars, like, at all. I mean, you see like your big constellations and stuff, but outside of that, you really don't see much. And when we were in, I remember we were in Colorado, and we pulled into this our campsite at like 11 p.m. And I remember, like, I woke up in the middle of the night because it started to get really cold because we were like 9,000 feet above sea level. It was at 11 Mile State Park is what it was called. It was all the camp. It's an hour outside of Denver. And we got into our campsite really late. And I remember waking up in the middle of the night, and it was just, the sky was so beautiful. I couldn't believe how many stars. I'd never seen that many stars in my life. Like, you know, of course, like on TV and stuff, but to see it in person, I'm like, man, it was something. And then the same thing, you know, we went to like Arizona and Utah, and all of that. All of those places were just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Compared to the night skies here that are taken away by light pollution and all that, you know. Living in the city has its perks, you know, don't get me wrong. But my end goal is to get some property out somewhere. Maybe not that rural. Maybe not like, you know, the absolute middle of nowhere, like in the Colorado mountains or anything like that. But I want some acreage. You know, I'd personally like over 50 if I can. and have a small little hobby farm. But you never know. A man can dream, right? That's all in due time. Oh, please don't turn. Oh my gosh. Whew. Almost just T-boned that Prius. Would have been horrible. Man, we're only an hour and a half away from our destination. I'm sad. I know all good things must come to an end soon, and I know I'll probably stop streaming after we deliver this load, but I kind of like don't want to. I'm really enjoying this game right now. But you know what? That'll give me something to look forward to next week. I'll probably have, you know, one final stream for this game when we get the last 2 deliveries made for the Missouri Cruise Missouri event. So in this one we got 8 and 9. No, 9 and 10. And then we'll do 11 and 12 and we'll wrap that up. So it's going to be a little tough though. We might have to do maybe a third one too, because I think the next city is like really close. So we'll probably do one from here to there if we can, and it won't count, or we'll just bobtail it over there. I don't even know what the city name is. But there's like 3 cities up here on the north side of the state that we haven't discovered yet. And we're heading to one of them now, into Maryville. But then the other 2 up here, I don't remember what they're called, and I know everything's like really close. And I think the deliveries have to be over 100 miles to count towards the event progress, so you get the gist. Ah, missed the gear. Come on there. You gotta be quick when you're floating gears in this game, I'll tell you. That's one thing though that I would love to get my hand, like, I would love to actually try driving a real semi-truck. I've driven, you know, I know how to drive a manual. My daily driver's a manual. And you know, I know the concept of, like, you know, you got a double clutch in a semi and everything. You know, in a real truck, you have to double clutch your gear shifts because they don't have what's called synchros in the gearbox. Unlike a car where you can just go from one gear to the next. But yeah, so I'd love to just get my hands on like a real truck, you know, with a real like 10-speed or 18-speed Eaton Fuller, and just see if I can just jump in and just actually drive it. I bet you that I can. I'm really confident. I'm really confident that I could do it. And I just love to kind of feel what it's like to, you know, go through all those gears and like actually shift like a real truck. Oh, whoops. But I'd also like to see what it's like if, you know, what they say about floating gears is true. Because they say that floating gears is all about the feel. And you start to kind of, like when you're ready, like when you pull it into neutral, you just kind of ease it into the next gear, and it kind of like pops right in there. You know, you don't force it, you just kind of, you'll feel, they say you'll feel it like want to go into the next gear, you'll feel it want to shift. And I'm curious, you know, if that's actually true, because I hear people say that they float gears in their cars sometimes. Yeah. You mean RPM shift, like do it the right way? But yeah, you're saying like RPM shift, like you watch the gauge kind of drop and then you know where to pop it into the next one, because that's how I sort of faked it in this game. Is, you know, you could see like Every gear is about 400 RPM. Every split gear is like 200. So you can kind of... Yeah. Gotcha. I don't know though. It's kind of like a... You know... You either go through clutches, maybe. I mean, but also like... I don't know. You're not so worried on that. Your foot's not on that... Sitting on that clutch spring all the time. It's kind of... I don't know. Like that's what there's the big debate of with manual transmissions, the big debate of do you engine brake with your you know, with your transmission? Yeah, which is that my concern is downshifting. I think upshifts are really like not too bad, but downshifting would be really hard. But I know though you got to match with I don't know if you're from the States or overseas, but at least with American trucks, you know, you actually do have to match like the RPMs regardless if you're clutching or not. Otherwise, I mean, you don't have to, but like if you're double clutching, you should match the RPMs, because otherwise it's gonna really like jerk into that gear, and that's like really hard on the equipment. So you wanna, it's way smoother, you know. You got to give it a little gas when you downshift. I do that in my car too, you know. I actually double clutch my downshifts in my car. Oh really? USA, yes sir, yes sir. Home sweet home. Do you drive trucks? I'm gonna take that as a yes, given your very confident knowledge. Where's this turn at here? 'Cause my uncle used to, he was a truck driver back when he was younger. I mean, I'm talking, you know, 90s and stuff, back when all the trucks were still like manuals and all that. Ah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. No, that's cool. Yeah, Michigan, yeah. So, as I said, I'm in Chicago. I'm in the Midwest. Go to Michigan a lot. I'll actually be up there in like a month. I'm going up there with one of my bosses. A lot of his friends. We get together and play music. And one of his friends bought a piece of property up there in like Paw Paw Lake or something, I think. But he's got an old barn and he's trying to convert it into a music studio. So we're gonna go up there and jam for a weekend in June. It's gonna be really fun. Yeah, I haven't actually been to South Carolina. I've barely been to North Carolina. I went over there when I was in Tennessee for a little bit, but haven't been to South Carolina yet. And I also have a brother, but he does not own a trucking company. He is currently in medical school. Wants to be a doctor. Yeah, we'll keep it in third here, going up this hill. Oh, we're going to a wind farm. I just noticed that now. I don't know why I didn't notice that before. This is funny. So in Indiana and Illinois, part of Illinois too, that still goes through. We're legacy. Exactly. Yeah, what's NC, the Tar Heel state? I mean, look at Indiana. We're called the freaking Hoosier state. What the heck's a Hoosier? You know? Nobody knows what a Hoosier is. All right, where am I going here? Hold on a second. I gotta back in there. Oh, so we're going around. Okay. Yeah. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna be smart here. We're gonna be smart. But yeah, it's funny. People always make fun of Indiana because, well, they are tires, yeah. But nobody knows. Like, Indiana does not know what a Hoosier is. Oh, I'm gonna hit this trailer. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not paying attention. Back it up. Try this again. But yeah, you look it up, like Indiana history. There's no like record of what a Hoosier is or how that became the name for people from Indiana. It's really funny. Like I went to Indiana University, and you know where the mascot is the Hoosiers, but like what the heck is a Hoosier? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. So there's this pellet sitting on the ground here that I'm probably gonna run over now. Alright, let's see if we can get around this trailer this time. There we go. There we go. Yeah, those Hoosier tires they use for like those are like racing tires, like for NASCAR and the drag racing and all that. I don't even know why I'm splitting my gears. I got 4,000 pounds on the trailer, like. Should just be going straight to second. Keep it in my low gears. I freaking love NASCAR. Well, okay. Asterisk, caveat. I loved NASCAR about 15 years ago. I haven't watched it recently. I have no idea who's driving in it until they start blowing. Yeah, man. My dad used to have season tickets at the Brickyard in Indy, and so we used to go down there every year. It was when I was young. I was like 6, and it was me and my uncle, my cousin, and my dad. The 4 of us would go down there because that was when my brother was. You know, if I was 6. My brother would have been 3, so he wasn't going to a NASCAR race yet. But yeah, our spots were right in the center of the front straightaway underneath. There's like a big, kind of like a big cover, like a big pavilion that overhangs the whole, like the top half of the grandstands. And we were right in front of the position pillar or whatever you want to call it, that there's this big post at the Indianapolis Speedway that has like all of the positions of the cars on there, and we were like right in front of that, and it was like cool, but we were under the shade of the pavilion, so it was like awesome. And you know, the cars would all come in and pit. We'd see them all pit, and that Indy's a fast track because the straightaways are real long. So, and the turns, like, it's more like rectangular rather than like an oval. So it's not a super speedway like Daytona or Talladega, but it is a fast track. I mean, those cars coming out on the straights, like they are doing like 190 in those turns. You know, they don't really have to slow down too much. So, it's a fast track and it's really cool. And yeah, we used to go there all the time, and that was back when the cars were, you know, loud. I mean, they still are, but I think there's like some stuff now, some more like regulations and all that. But that was back when, I'll say this, that was back when they actually used to spin out and wreck. You don't really get that much anymore. Everything's really safe and they kind of stay on the ground. But back then they used to get up in the air and flip a little bit, which, you know, I mean, safe is good. Safe is good. Don't get me wrong. But it was always, you know, fun to see some action. But yeah, those were good times, man. I love going to NASCAR races, and I really want to go to one soon. But the problem is they have these, you know, like they have this one in Chicago now. I'm just gonna see what jobs are available here, if there's anything that's gonna get us to a new city. Like if I can get one to St. Joseph. Oh, look at that. I'm just gonna do it. Yeah, I'm just gonna do it because I want to get over there anyway. Yeah, we're just gonna do this quick hour delivery, and then we'll call it after this one, I promise. But I just want to get us to this new city, so then when we start our next stream, we could just start from there and, you know, knock out another one. But anyway, yeah, we used to go to the Brickyard and all that, and they do this race in Chicago now, but it's really dumb. It's a stupid race. I like the intent behind it. Like, the intent is to get, you know, like, more, because you and yeah, Michigan is a great track, and they used to actually have, I think they took Chicagoland Motor Speedway out of the running. They used to have Chicagoland Motor Speedway in Joliet, but I think they recently took it out of the running. I was actually in Joliet last night for a concert. My favorite band, or my band's favorite band, Rival Sons, was playing, so we all got tickets and we saw them. It was super fun. Oh, look at this combine coming down here. Check that out. Nice. But anyway, yeah, the Chicago the Chicago track, it's not a NASCAR track. It's not fast enough. They put mufflers on the cars because of, like, city regulations and noise regulations, which I understand. You know, having, like, a stock car race through a city is not that sensible and is very loud. I get it, but, you know, it's a cool concept, and it's meant to be like an event. You know, you buy tickets for, like, the day or, like, a weekend pass, you know, when there's, like, concerts between races and stuff, and it's really, like, it's really geared towards, like, an overall fan experience, which I like. I like that they're trying to get young people into the sport, and, you know, what better place to do it than Chicago, where, like, you have all these kids that are trying to be trendy and say, oh yeah, I'll go see a NASCAR race, you know. It's funny, but yeah, I just don't think that it's a great course. And I mean, of all streets like Chicago, I know they're not repaving the roads before this NASCAR race. It's probably bumpy as heck, you know, and these cars are flying. They can't. It's not even a fast track. Like, it's almost a figure eight. Like, it's a bunch. If you've ever seen the layout, it's like two offset squares, really. They just don't do a figure eight, obviously. Like, they don't, like, intersect, but it's really, there's no true, like, straightaways or anything. It's just, you know, a couple turns and, like, that's it. It's kind of dumb. But again, you know, I like the concept. I think that NASCAR should try to get, you know, it's hard to find a balance, and I understand that, but they should try to get a way to try to come up with some ways to get, you know, a younger generation of people into the sport. It's the same thing with like Harley Davidson, right? Like, Harley Davidson has a target market, and, you know, they have a lot of trouble, like, trying to get sales from young people and from, you know, different types of people that aren't just, like, the stereotypical, like, biker, you know. And NASCAR is, like, the same thing, right? And so, I don't know. I always root for stuff like that because I want to see them succeed as a company, and I want to see NASCAR still, like, be around. But I don't know. And my girlfriend's never been to a NASCAR race, and I really want to take her this year. I want to see if there's one. Actually, I'd probably end up going to Michigan, to be honest, or the Brickyard, because it's in the summer. But whenever I can get up there or get to one of those, I would like to, because they're not that expensive, and I think that she needs to experience a NASCAR race at least once in her life. I think everybody should. They're, you know, when that green flag drops and those cars come around for the first time, like, oh, goosebumps. I remember, I will never forget my first experience at the Brickyard. My dad was like, it's like, man, are you ready? Here they come, here they come. And I'm like, yeah, you know, okay, cool, right? And he just, oh man, the first, like, my face when those cars came around the first time, and he was like, it's cool, ain't it? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, what? Like, you just can't, nothing can prepare you for that. NHR, yeah. So we actually went to, I think it was also Chicagoland has a drag strip, and we went to a drag race there, and that was another thing. My dad, have you ever been to a drag race? Well, no, Dad, I've never been to a drag race. I think you would know that. We're going to a drag race. Okay, me, him, my cousin, my uncle went to this drag race, and it like. That first race, man, those cars hit it, and I was like, whoa, that, nothing could have prepared me for that sound, and just like you feel it, it is so cool. And again, you know, I say that I've always loved cars and stuff, that right there just solidified that for me. And from then on, man, like I always had a love for cars. I'm not like a mechanic or anything, you know, I don't really know much about fixing cars, but I know enough about them to really like enjoy driving and, you know, understanding them and stuff. And yeah, but you're right, there really isn't a younger generation of fans. I mean, it's like me and my cousin's generation, we were born in the 90s, so we were kind of like at the tail end of that. And I feel like, you know, when I have kids, which I don't have kids yet, but when I have kids, I really want to kind of try to keep that stuff going, I guess. I mean, I always, you know, wanted my kids to, one, be musicians. Not that I could choose what path my kids go down, of course, but I always want to, you know, instill that, like, just kind of put them in that environment to be able to give them something other than an iPad. You know, nowadays everybody's got iPads, right? And apologies to everybody for kind of getting on my soapbox here, but you know, that's the thing nowadays. It's like a lot of kids, I feel like, don't get like hands-on stuff. They don't have hands-on stuff anymore. You know, like when I was a kid, you know, I built Legos and played with Hot Wheels and you know, Matchbox cars, and I had and then when I got a little older, I started getting like Legos, and I had these little NASCAR. I have a whole like race car, like NASCAR collection of cars, and me and my cousin, we would always, whenever we'd get together, we'd always have a race. You know, if it was like family Christmas, well, one of the rooms was the track, you know, and we'd race around the table and have our little model stock cars going around and having a whole race, and it was so funny, you know. Then my brother would run in the room and knock them all over the place. We're like, no, you know, Tony Stewart, we don't remember what position he was in, or Jeff Gordon or whatever. It was hilarious, you know. And yeah, I always want to think that it's important for kids, and you know, when I have kids, to have those types of things like in their life, you know, like hands-on stuff, experiences like that, like going to races, going to just do stuff that's not just like sitting in front of an iPad or like watching TV. And I don't know, a lot of the newer generation of parents and kids are not always about hand-on experiences as much, which is sad, because those are the memories that I have. My memories was never, they're never about like what was on TV or what I was looking at on a screen. It was always like what I was doing, you know, with my parents or with my brother. Whether that was like cutting the grass with my dad, like I talked about at the beginning of the stream, you know, I'd sit, oh, I gotta get over. I'd sit on the, you know, and like steer the lawnmower with him, or follow behind him. I had a little toy like push mower, and I'd follow behind him in like the real, you know, when he was cutting the grass, and I'd walk around and, you know, kind of cut the grass with him, and stuff like that, you know. Goofy stuff, but that's the thing, you know. Having memories like that are so important. So anyway, I'll get off my soapbox now. I'm sorry. But coming from not a parent, I have no kids yet, but knowing how I want to raise my kids, I think it's really important to do stuff like that and make those experiences and memories with them, because that's what's going to stick with them forever. And then I know it did with me. But anyway. So if you're just joining the stream, welcome. We're just doing a quick delivery here to I don't even remember the name of the city. St. Joseph, Missouri. just a quick one. We're just trying to get ourselves set up in position for our whatever our next stream will be, so we can knock out the last couple of deliveries in our next stream. We've done 9 and 10 today of our Cruise in Missouri event, and we have 11 and 12 left to do. But we're not going to get to those tonight. As you can see, we've already been streaming for almost 2 hours, which is what I intended to do. And then we'll do the last 2 deliveries and wrap up the event. Probably we'll look at a day next week. Maybe let me just see here. When I get on the expressway, I'll do something bad and look at my phone. Try to look at my calendar here. Maybe next Wednesday. Next Wednesday might be a nice stream day. Actually, that'll probably be the day, to be honest. So, yeah. If you want to tune in next Wednesday, I'll plan on that for now. And if not, I'll let you guys know. Oh, is there a stoplight right here? What the heck? I definitely thought this was going to be like an expressway interchange. I did not expect a stoplight here. Ooh, okay. Almost just destroyed that Camaro. Which, hey, here's another good topic of conversation. How about Dodge bringing back? Well, not so much bringing back yet, but I guess so. Bringing back the V8. There are rumors, very strong rumors. They got a new CEO, and apparently there are talks of them bringing back the Hemi V8, which they stopped making because they were making electric cars. And yeah, the electric Charger or Challenger or whatever it was flopped very badly. But now they're talking about bringing back a Hemi V8 Charger or something, which is pretty cool. I like that. My next car that I want to get a Mustang, because they're the last ones to make a stick shift V8. Dodge is your It sure is now. It sure is now. I'll tell you, so I used to want I have, you know, my obtainable, I have my dream cars, like dream, you know, far-fetched dream cars, and then I have my obtainable dream cars. And one of my obtainable dream cars for a long time was a Hellcat Challenger. When they came out, I thought they were really cool. Just Dodge's mentality of like saying, hey, you know, let's throw a 700 horsepower engine in a 2-door car and just say screw it, you know. I thought that was hilarious, and I always wanted one. And they made them in a stick, so I was like, that's cool, you know. This is before I could drive, but nonetheless. But now, yeah, they went away with that, and now all the Challengers just get stolen, so I don't really want one. And they are big and handle really poorly. The Mustangs are cool. The singer in my band is actually a priest, and he's a Catholic priest, and he drives a stick shift Mustang GT. And I think it is the coolest thing, and I've driven it, and I love it, and it sounds great, and it feels light, and I like that car. And they're like the last, they're the last company that's making stick shift V8s. You know, the Camaro's gone, that's discontinued. The Challenger's gone, the Charger's been gone. So yeah, the Mustang's the last one. So I think I'm gonna look at one of those in the next, I don't know, when I gotta move out of the city first and get a proper garage, and you know, get something practical to haul drums in, like a SUV or a pickup truck or something like that, you know. But yeah, we've always been a Ford family. I know people have their gripes with Ford. My girlfriend is one of those people. But we've always had Fords in our family, and to be honest, like, I've always liked them. My first car was a Ford Explorer. My second car was a Ford Focus. And now I drive a Subaru, but that's only because I wanted an all-wheel drive, and a Focus RS was too expensive. So that is the problem. Oh my God, you're right. I'll chalk it up to operator error. But yeah, it's because these people, you know, they buy a Mustang and they're like, you know, oh, it's just a Mustang. Like it's such a weak, you know, it's not a real muscle car. But they got 480 horse now, or 460 or whatever. But it's, you know, it's a lot of power under that hood, man. And people like, you know, they forget that it's a rear wheel drive muscle car. It's got some power. So you got to be careful, and people don't understand that. But yeah, that's, you know, all in due time. I gotta wait a few years to move out first and all that. Move out of the city. Can't have a Mustang in the city. And I don't want to sell my Subaru either. That's the thing. It's like I could sell my Subaru like as soon as I move out and like buy a house. I could just sell, like, trade in my Subaru. But I love my Subaru. I love my WRX. The all-wheel drive is so good in the snow. That car, like this car, is a fun winter car. It still looks good. I got 47,000 miles on it. It's in great shape, and it's just a fun little 4-cylinder turbo. Like it's quick, but it's not fast. If that makes sense. You know, like you could still have fun with it and be within the speed limit, relatively speaking. You know, like you pull out on the expressway, you give it a little gas, and you know you're not still in the same gear by the end of that. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Yeah, I love my Subaru. I never want to get rid of it. And plus, that'd be a nice car to keep around and, you know, kind of teach people how to drive stick in if they want to learn. Yeah, here we are. Look at this. Look at this place. This prefab here. This, you know, whole little industrial complex. I love this. This is why I love, like, all these games in my mind kind of, you know, blend together. Like this and Cities Skylines and Farm Sim. I love all of these because they all kind of, you know, the little details like this in the industry areas and stuff in this game, you know, make me want to make like better industry areas in Cities Skylines. And then you see, like, right now we're hauling some grain, makes me want to jump into Farm Sim. A whole ecosystem of games is all related, and I love it. But yeah, I think this is going to be our last delivery for the evening. Is it raining again? It sure is. Open the window here. I don't really need that. But yeah, this is going to be our last delivery for the evening. It is 9 p.m. right now, and I do want to play some Farm Sim, I think. So I might go do that. I could play this game all night, especially with you guys on here and, you know, actually chatting and enjoying some conversation. So I really appreciate it. Yeah, thank you so much, man, and thanks for whatever the Steam gift is gonna be. I really appreciate that. The rallying is so much fun. I repaired the car after stage 2. But yeah, for those of you guys that are on here that don't know, we have a little farming simulator group of people that we also do like a rally, some rally racing on EA WRC. And so we just had a rally where we had to it was 7 stages in Chile, and we had to repair after you only got one chance to repair after stage 1, and then you couldn't repair again until after stage 6. So you had, you know, all those stages where you had to just kind of be really careful, and it was not an easy race. But yeah, it changes the way you drive for sure. I was very cautious in my driving, and you know, paying close attention to the co-driver call outs, and just really like not giving it the gas all the time, you know, just really kind of being easy on the throttle. And especially, like, what I did too is I wasn't sliding around into turns because I was worried about my tires. I was driving it more of like a track, you know, and like actually turning into turns rather than like sliding through them. So I thought that was interesting. It really changed my mindset. And I was surprised that I was still putting up decent times, relatively speaking. They probably weren't fast, you know, not as fast as Mike here, but man, like, you fly. I can never catch you, but yeah, it was cool though. It was a lot of fun. And I'm gonna do I gotta do the OBS club now, or maybe not tonight, but like this weekend. I'll do the rest of the Rally Iberia. But yeah, where else do we have to go? So we got Poplar Bluff. I'm just getting my bearings here. Just because I'm curious. It seems like there's like no deliveries there. I have to like, I think I might have to drive there. I might have to go to Cape Girardeau and then drive down to Poplar Bluff and get something out of there to get the achievement, because I just can't seem to find anything but oh yeah, and then I need one out of St. Joseph too. Duh. So because that's where we're just at. So realistically, I could go anywhere in the next stream. I can actually go anywhere. What's in Poplar Bluff? Let me, before I log off, I want to check this out. So you can actually see the logistics map. This is what I want. So if I look up, if I click on Poplar Bluff, I could see the companies. So these are all the things that are going. What's going imported? Oh yeah, so like construction equipment. Yeah, so we got, okay, we got like some industrials here. So yeah, that's not too bad. Okay, we got some stuff. A lot of forestry. We got forestry going through to there as well. Yeah, it was a tough rally. I had never done. Maybe I did it in career like once or something, but I'd really never done the Rally Chile, and so doing those was those were tough stages. To be honest, I hate rallies like that usually, but that one was really fun. I think the mindset of like not just like gunning it, and now that I've actually kind of gotten to be a okay driver in that game and actually like pay attention and not be like totally stupid, I think that those rallies, those types of really technical stages are more fun for me now. Like I think of like Rally Greece, like the Greece one or the Mexico one in that game are really, really hard. Or that at least they used to be for me, because they're really mountainous, they're really narrow, there are a lot of rocks on the outside of the tracks and everything. It was like Rally Kenya too. That Kenya one was, oh man. In the Group B, that was stupid. that was insane. But I had a lot of fun though, I'll be honest. But yeah, I think, oh, we can also some Kenworth trucks with an old Kenworth truck. That might be fun. Yeah, it does. It does take concentration. I know, and sometimes like I'm fine on the short stages, but those long stages where it's like 11 miles, or that Chile one was 21 miles. That was I think my time was like 27 minutes. 27 minutes doing that is hard. Even in a video game, it is hard. You miss one call out and you're in a tree, and it's really, that sucks. But yeah. All right. I really want to do one more, but I also really want to play something else. Or what I need to do too is like going like, I don't even know. I don't need to do anything anymore. I should play guitar. But anyway, I think I'm going to go ahead and call it here for the evening, guys. I really appreciate all of you who have jumped into the stream. This is the most that I've ever had on a truck sim stream. So definitely going to be doing one next week. Next, probably Wednesday night. Stay tuned for notification. But see, okay, before I go, the progress bar, I turned on my screen. There is literally nothing but the speedometer and the rev counter. I turned everything off. I have none of the little notifications that are telling you where to turn. I don't have my time. I don't have the progress bar, because for me, I just want to concentrate on my driving. And like when I play racing games like that, I like to have it kind of as authentic as possible, I would say. So I try to, the only reason that I have the speedometer on there is because in certain cars, like I wouldn't be able to see what gear I was in. And if I was doing 8 shift and like a 8 shifter, and sometimes my shifter would miss shift, and I didn't want to actually accidentally dump the clutch and then in reverse. But yeah, I actually found, I find that listening and not relying on the site, like the little like the little pop-ups. Personally, I feel like it helps me drive better, because then I'm actually looking at the track rather than like looking at the upcoming turns. I'm listening to the turns, so I don't know. That's just me. I always like that. And the only game that I don't have that going for me is Assetto Corsa Competizione. I still have all the heads up, stuff on, because that game is a little bit confusing in terms of like positioning and all that. And then there's like a bunch of like ratings and stuff that you need. It's a little more technical, and I'm not as well versed in the GT car world. So stuff like that, I'm trying to do a little bit more of, I'll get there one day, but for now, I keep all that stuff on in that game. But yeah, in the rally games, I turned it all off. Same thing when I was in Dirt Rally 2, I turned it all off. Truck Sim, I would if I had a bigger screen. I have a dual monitor setup, but I need, when I stream and stuff, I have all my recording stuff on my second monitor. So one of these days, when I have the space, because I'm in a small-ish apartment right now and don't have the space for like a triple monitor setup, but one of these days, I will get one. And we will be we'll be in good shape. I'll try to get some. I would like to do a big 3-monitor setup for like all these race sims and stuff. It'd be awesome, but I don't have the space for it right now. I need a bedroom for that. I need a whole bedroom, which I do have. I mean, I guess I do have that right now, but I have a little drum set in here. And yes, I have my call outs the soonest as they can go. I think my thing is, I'm just like, one, I just don't really play the game enough to really like be that great at it, and two, I gotta perfect my cornering techniques. I think I brake too early and I lose time because I'm just slow, and I think I gotta get like in like Assetto Corsa, for example. When you gotta brake as late as possible, because then you just lose seconds on your lap times, and it's the same thing with rallying. But yeah, I'm just scrolling through here now to kill time. But anyway, yeah, thank you so much for sticking around for the stream. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I always love chatting on these. It's so much fun, and yeah, I hope to see you in future streams, and we'll be talking. And everyone else in here, thank you guys, whether you're watching now or you popped in throughout the stream earlier, or if you're watching after the fact. I really appreciate all of you, and this was super fun, and it was great to drive a new truck, or I guess a new old truck, I guess. Another W900. There it is in classic needs more drums colors, red and black and white. Some of my favorite colors. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next stream, and hope that you guys all have a great night and a great week. Regular content coming on Tuesday. New Cities Skylines video next week. New Farm Sim series next week as well. So stay tuned for that. And I'll probably even get in a live stream as well if I can. So stay tuned. But in the meantime, take care, and I will see you guys in the next video and or stream. Peace out.